you know what time it is? That's right, time for another video, just for you. Hey, I'm inside a vacant condo. A new owner has just purchased this condo and he wants to move in, but he wants me, can you believe it? He wants me to do some painting for him first. Now, I've looked at the walls and there's some holes from some old picture locations. There's some plastic anchors that have to be filled and covered. And there's a few imperfections on the walls that need to be patched before I start the painting. So I'm going to show you a different technique than I normally do on how to cover these holes. Now, it might be something a little bit different than you're used to, but I want to show it to you anyways because I always like to give my viewers, like you, options. That's what it's all about. Hey, if you don't have the right materials, there's always options on how to finish your project and make it look like a pro. That's what I want to show you today. I want to show you what I'm going to put over the holes in the walls. I got this stuff here. It's called Patch and Paint. It's lightweight spackling. It's very light, and when you open this, it's almost like whipped cream. And this is a non-shrinking spackle, which I like this because it'll go on and I can put that over the holes and use this as a base coat. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to paint over this. I'm going to put this in as a filler on the back. Let it dry. It doesn't take very long to dry and it doesn't shrink. That's what I like about that. So I'm going to put this over the holes, and then in certain areas I'm going to use lightweight all-purpose joint compound over the top of this. Only in the areas where I look at a wall and if I make a determination that the entire wall, that I'm going to go ahead and paint it. I'm going to put the lightweight spackle over all the holes, and then I'm going to put a little bit of lightweight all-purpose joint compound over that. I'm going to let this dry and I'm going to lightly sand that nice and smooth. These are smooth finished walls that I'm doing. So it's got to look nice and smooth. Then I'm going to paint over it. In other instances, if I just want to touch up a couple little holes and if I think a picture is going to cover that anyways, I'm still going to use the lightweight spackling first as a back filler. Then I'll probably use some caulking. This is brilliant white, and I'll use some of this to make it smooth over this lightweight spackling, because what happens is this spackling, when it dries kind of rough, and when you paint, your paint picks up differently than the surrounding areas. So especially on smooth walls, we've got smooth walls and an eggshell satin type finish, which is kind of, it's not as glossy as a semi-gloss, but it still has a sheen on the walls. So if I just put lightweight spackle on there, and if I paint over that, I'll show you exactly where all the patches are. You may not see them looking straight on, but if you look at an angle, you'll see exactly where they all are. So to prevent that, I'm going to put a little caulking over the spackle. Now, why are you wondering, why would I just not put spackle in the holes? Because if I do that, the spackle usually has, or the caulking usually has a tendency to sink in when it dries. Then you've got to put 2 coats of this on there, and I want to do this quick. So I'm going to put the non-shrinking spackling over first, and then put the caulking over that. Then I can touch up the paint after that, just in small areas that I know are going to be covered. If they're not covered, you could still do it this way using these 2 products, but if you do that, keep in mind that you're still going to see your patch to a certain extent. That's why I like to bring in my favorite product, this lightweight all-purpose joint compound, and I'll put that. I won't even use this caulking at all. Throw that away. Bye-bye. I'll use these 2 products right here. I'll use this first, and then I'll use my lightweight joint compound. The reason why I don't just use this is because the holes are going to be kind of deep in certain areas, and this material will have a tendency to slightly shrink, whereas this is a non-shrinking product So I could use this as my backing material. Now you can do the same thing if you're using quickset sheetrock mud. You know, the dry quickset that I've shown you how to use before on other patches. But I'm going to do it differently. This is if you don't have any quickset and maybe you don't want to make a mess mixing up the quickset and you've got some patch and paint spackle, lightweight spackle on you. We can do it with that. So that's what we're going to do with our project today. We're going to use lightweight spackle and the sheetrock lightweight all-purpose joint compound over that. We'll see how that goes. I think it's going to turn out really nice. Now, if you had rough walls or a spray texture on a wall, you might not have to do it the way that we're going to do it. But because it's smooth walls, I'm going to use these two products only, and you'll see it's going to turn out good.